Today I wanted to talk a little bit more about handmade stencils for Gelli, how we can paint directly onto the gel plate itself to create abstract paintings, and also how we can add in some collage. And so I'm going to be using some of the Gelli prints that I wasn't maybe 100% satisfied with, and also some of the papers that I use for rolling. So I don't throw these away. This is where I'm cleaning my roller off, and I do these on a regular paper, but it's a little lighter than the paper that I print on. And then sometimes I'll pull a ghost print off on the same paper, and I use these for collage. So I want to get started talking about all those things and giving you a little bit more tips and process ideas for your gel prints. So I really wanted to get started just talking about some of those things and give you some more tips and ideas for your gel prints. See you inside. Okay, I just want to show you some of the stencils that I have on the side here. These are just lines. I am all about the grid abstract. So sometimes I like to just have some lines to break up the picture or the composition. So I have those on the side here. I have some different ones I've hand cut. I've got some circles today, different sizes. They can be arranged in all different kinds of ways. I have some S curves, which are always fun. Those are fun to have. I've got a set of S's. Let's see where these go. That goes with those. This is an extra one, I think. I can't remember. Yeah, maybe. Okay. Then I have some other ones that I did. Like the little diamond one. This one is made out of cardboard. So this one is like a cereal box weight. And I'm going to say that most of the time I cut my stencils from 80-pound drawing paper or 100-pound like cheap watercolor paper, because I like it better. The thicker the paper is, the less precise your design will be, because it starts to interfere with how close you can get the ink to the edge of the stencil. So lots of times I prefer to just cut them from the regular paper. Now this one I got very precise with, and I used one of my cutting mats, and that's in a previous video, and I can link in the description below because that has very specific instructions. But I just cut on the cutting mat with the X-Acto knife, and then I save the things that come out of the center, as well as this part, which is also really fun to use as a stencil. So I've used this on both sides. Okay. So today I also want to combine some collage into the work that we're going to do. I want to do some painting directly onto the gel plate and show you that process. And then at the end, I want to collage some pieces on top of. First, we're going to roll an abstract, then we're going to paint directly on the plate and make an abstract, and then we're going to add some collage from previously printed papers. And that way, you'll see the collage going onto the ones we started. Meet me back here. Okay, so right now I have on my plate just a little bit of a creamy color liquid acrylic paint. I'm going to roll that off and take a print. What I do is I orient my gel plate onto this piece of paper, because this is our orientation paper. The paper to this side is for cleaning my my brayer or my roller. And when I come back and I'm going to do multiple pulls, I orient this top sheet to the bottom. So that way I always know where my gel plate is, and I don't have to think about whether or not I'm squaring it up. I use this paper to orient myself. Just a little printmaker's trick, so you never get lost. And this piece of paper can just be the same size. It doesn't have to be an expensive piece of paper. You could just put a piece of, you know, copy paper if it's the same size, or whatever paper you have. Now, I use the paper on the side to clean my brayer. It gets most of it off before I've done anything. So I want to show you this method. When we're doing this method, what I do is I take two pieces of paper and I butt them up against each other like this. And then I tape them with masking tape or painter's masking tape. So I'm making like a little folder here. And this is a traditional printmaking method. So when I'm doing this, this is the only time I really, or one of the only times I use heavy body acrylic paint. Most of the time when I'm working on the Gelli printer, I use soft body or liquid paint. So what we're doing here is we're creating a little folder where we're just going to continue to do that. And so this gives us working time because acrylic paint dries really fast, as you know. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to do an acrylic. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you how I would start an abstract painting using this method on the Gelli printer. Okay, so to the side I have some colors. I have primary cyan, which is just primary blue, permanent light green, which is a middle of the road green. It's neither cool nor warm. I have yellow ochre, which is an earth tone yellow. Naphthol crimson, which is one of the cooler reds. And then I keep tipping between, I think I'm going to go for the primary yellow because I have a very, very, very warm yellow that I'm already using. All right, so I'm going to start, I think, I'm going to start by putting out some of my reds, my warm colors. So I'm going to put my red, my yellow ochre, and my primary yellow onto my palette. I also have white, which I may or may not use, but I think I might use a little bit. I'm going to start with those. Okay. Now I'm going to use a paintbrush, which I also don't normally use on the Gelli plate. So I'm going to pull this stuff out of the way, but I want you to be able to see me if I'm mixing. Okay. I always have a paper towel handy when I'm painting. All right. I'll keep that right there. Okay. All right. So I am going to mix a little bit. I think I want to have a little bit of orange on my palette. And sometimes I'll just mix it from the colors that we are using. That way I don't have to worry that it's not going to work with the colors I have on my palette. Okay. So I'm just going to put down paint here and there. This is going to be an intuitive painting. I'm just going to have fun here and put a little bit of all of my colors that I already have out here. These paintings are so much fun to do, and when I tell you that they're almost foolproof, because even though we're using all the colors, everything dries so quickly that you're really not going to make mud. I promise. By mixing and using colors. Now, when you're using all the warm tones together, you're not going to have a muddy problem anyway. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do before anything dries any further is I'm going to close my folio and I'm going to rub it. Now, I'm going to use my squeegee this time because I really want to make sure all those pieces of all that paint got picked up. Okay. Okay. It's starting to look interesting. Now, in the beginning, a lot of times you'll go, oh, that doesn't look like anything at all. But what happens, or what starts to happen as you go along with these, is that you're able to really let go and allow your brush strokes will start to show through as you close this. And the more color you add to it, the more interesting it becomes. It's a very, very interesting process. I'm going to close it again. And you can go as slow as you'd like. Now, I just wanted to get this thing going, so I'm probably going to do a little bit more with these colors. And then I'm going to go in and add some of my other colors. Yeah. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to start adding my other colors, which are, I am using some complementary colors here, so normally we'd be frightened. Normally we'd be frightened that we were going to make a big muddy mess, but because we have the gel plate and you can see everywhere you've already painted, you don't have to really worry. You don't have to worry that you're going to make a big mess because we have the folio. So we know exactly where this is going to land and we know where we've already been. So that's what makes it a lot easier of a process or a painting process. So you can get right in there and just keep going along your merry way with your paint. Now, don't be afraid, and just kind of, I want to get in here with some of this blue, and really, I don't know. I always like it when things are going off my page when I'm painting. I'm gonna just keep going with this. Now I'm gonna keep closing it because I don't want it to dry too much in between. All right. Okay. So now as you start to look at it, you'll start to be able to see, when you get to this point, what I start to do is I start to look back and forth. I look at my piece, and then I look at the plate, and I say, where would I like to see more color? Where would I like to see layering? Where would I like to fill in a little more? And that's what I start to do. Okay, so I see this place here. Now I have to think backwards because that is right here. So I really want to see more of this yellow in here, this yellow color. So I'm going to go in there with that. And I also see right there is a place I'd like to add yellow. And there's a little place here I'd like to add yellow. So now I'm going to go in and see if that took care of the areas I saw for that moment. Okay. Yeah, I really like that. Now, you have to let go of a little bit of the end because you can't be super precise with printmaking, which is what I love about it so much. I love the fact that you have to be able to give part of this back to the process and allow whatever happens to happen in your painting, which is, you know, part of the fun of doing this. Because things happen by accident a lot of times. You may not know how something's going to turn out. You have to give up some of that control. And that's what a lot of people have a problem with that, but it's part of the excitement of working with monoprinting. It's part of the excitement of art. And to let the process become part of the art making experience can be really fun. I'm probably going to call it done when I'm with this last pull, I hope. Okay. I really love this. I just wanted to show you what I compiled here. So I have 3 paintings, a scissor, and each one has a pack of gel prints. This is one I did about a week ago. And so it has a regular gel print under it, and then I cut up another print that was kind of a boo-boo. And, you know, I collaged it on with matte medium, and then I put gloss varnish on top of it. And so it's a little shiny, but there, I'm going to take the glare off of it. It has metallic paint, which is really always so beautiful. So it has some metallic acrylic paint, which I love using, the metallic acrylic. My favorite metallic acrylic is the golden gold. A lot of people make acrylic, but theirs really, you know, it almost looks like gold leaf. I love all their products. This abstract was an oops, and it has a little accident here, but I really loved the colors together, and I loved what happened. I don't know, I know it's a mistake, but sometimes mistakes are serendipitous, and sometimes I really want to explore more. So I have a bunch of painted papers. Some of them have like some line drawings on them, and some of them are just like where I pulled a ghost with some medium, you know, just like really pretty that we could cut out of there. There was a shape already cut. This is a big shape, but like you could see where things like that might look really interesting. Sometimes if I have leftover paint, I just paint pages in my sketchbook and then later go over them and draw with crayon or marker or something. So I have pages like these too. And then of course, this page, which really, you know, has a lot of the same colors in it, where I could cut collage and just add to this some interesting elements. So that's how I start. Now this one is the one I just did. And this one is very bold colors. But then I found some interesting ones where I was using similar colors not that long ago. So this, I think, looks super with it. You know, that could go great. And this is just a bright red with a neutral. So I have some things I think would work with that. Especially, I think these two would go great with this one, because it's like a neutral. And then I'm really digging this one. I don't know. This is something about that one that I really like. Not sure. Maybe I'll do this one, because this one is just intriguing me. And if I don't like how it's oriented on this page, which I know it's a little offset, after I've added collage to it, I can take it and put it on another piece of paper. I can mount it on a board. I can mount it on a piece of like a panel, a painted panel. There's so many things I can do with this. So I'm using matte medium. Now matte medium is almost exactly like acrylic paint. It is not glue. And we use it a lot in mixed media art for collaging and collaging pieces of paper down. That's also goes with this. So it's a product I use a lot. Now, there's times when I'll use PVA glue, but most of the time when I'm doing collage on a piece of artwork, I'm going to be using matte medium, because a lot of times I'm going to be painting back in. Matte medium is almost exactly like our acrylic paint. except it doesn't have any pigment in it. So it's very, very compatible with the paint we're using. And it's not like regular glue, and it's very matte, which is, you know, kind of what we want. I'm not sure.
I didn't want you to have to sit through me cutting and fussing around, so I sped this part up where I'm cutting and finding my shapes and laying it all out, and because otherwise it would have taken forever. But this way you can still see the process of how I'm finding my way with it, and that's what you kind of need to do. You just have to kind of clip and clip. It's almost like a puzzle. You just keep putting pieces down until you're happy with the result.
There we are. Okay. Now, this was going to be a throwaway, and I just love what was happening on it, and I like it so much more now with these additional pieces of collage. And even though these were, you know, just from the roller, I just really love how they look and work with these other colors and this deep turquoise and the this bright blue against this blue. All the colors are really working well together, and it's super fun to cut these out and join them up and create something new. Now this is the painting that we made with by direct painting onto the jelly plate and going back and forth with the folio, and we can do some interesting things by using cut papers with that. Process here. Let's see. These are really fun to do A lot of times these get busy. And so if you're looking to, the reason I really liked this particular piece was because it was so light and airy, but had all the same colors as this painting had, this Gelli painting had. So by coming in and using some of these bigger shapes, we can make this less busy, but keep some of that same energy, okay? Making a collage with just some simple imagery and using some of the same colors that we have in here, we're really going to be able to break this up a little bit and make it, I think it might work better this way. I'm going to cut one more piece and see if this piece works better than this piece. I don't know. I like the yellow. All right, so I'm going to just reshape this one because I really like how that yellow stripe looks in here. And then I think what I'm going to do, let's just make sure that that's what we want to do. In fact, what we want to do. I think so. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just glue this down because I just love this. This is so simple and so basic, yet it's very strong. I think the piece is really strong this way. So that's done for me as far as I'm concerned. I'm just going to call that one done. Okay, so now I'm going to just do this. Gorge. Just beautiful. Lots and lots of fun. Ooh, that shouldn't be wet. Okay. Okay, now I'm just going to do this. I'm going to use that to wipe it on my, make sure there's no ear bubbles in there. Really nice. Okay, next. Yep. There we are. There we are. So this lighter color background kind of brings a very light and airy feel and creates space in this piece, which is what I loved about it when I saw that particular paper sitting in the pile, because I just keep these in a little stack in my studio on the shelf, and then when I need them I just go grab one. Yeah, I really like this one. So here are the three all done with the collage. Now this is the one that I did where I painted it on the gel plate, and then I just trimmed up the little pieces of collage and added them. Now this painterly use of the gel plate has its own video, and I will link to it below because I show that whole process again if you want to see more. And then here's the second one. Now this one I did add on the sides, and I kind of really liked how that came out. I love adding all these colors. I finally figured out where those went, and I like how it's working. And this one too, even it was a little bit, I don't know, it looked like everything was crammed on there until I added the pieces on the sides, and I really like the little elements of the other color of blue and gold with the deep cobalt. I really am enjoying this. So this is my abstract collage and handmade stencils on the gel plate. Please. I'm so glad you could join me. I hope you love this video and take back some of these ideas to your own studio. Please like, share, and subscribe because it really helps my channel grow, and I really do appreciate it. See you next time.